The London Loop. Deep Tactical Analysis. Chelsea and Arsenal. Part 1. Introduction: The Possession Trap. In the world of football, we often hear that information is power. But in the matches of Chelsea and Arsenal, we learned that possession is an illusion. Today, we are combining the analysis of two tactical battles: Chelsea versus Wolverhampton and Arsenal versus Sunderland. On the surface, these big clubs seem to dominate, but the data tells a much more frustrating story. It's a story of high numbers but low impact. Let's dive into the statistics that define the midfield loop of London's finest. Part 2. Chelsea's 700 pass maze. First, let's look at Chelsea's encounter with Wolves. The scoreboard showed 69% possession for Chelsea. In 90 minutes, they completed a staggering 700 passes with 90% accuracy. Every pass was clean, every move was technically perfect. But where was the ball? It wasn't in the danger zone. 90% of those 700 passes happened in the middle of the park. Chelsea was passing side to side, left to right, like a ticking clock that never strikes. They had 13 shots, but only 7 were on target. This means the Wolves goalkeeper had to work, making 4 crucial saves. Meanwhile, Wolves played a total defense strategy. With only 31% of the ball, they didn't care about style. They cared about survival. They relied on counterattacks, but their finishing was poor. Out of 8 shots, 5 went flying, perhaps into the stands or even through someone's bedroom window. It was a masterclass in holding the ball, but a disaster in vertical attacking. Part 3. Arsenal's shooting crisis. Now, let's switch our focus to Arsenal's clash with Sunderland. The possession was almost equal, 49% for Arsenal and 51% for Sunderland. But the real story lies in the shooting. Arsenal fired 14 shots. 14. That should be enough to win 3 games. But only 5 were on target. Where did the other 9 shots go? Just like we saw with Chelsea, these balls weren't just off target. They were flying to the clouds. Some probably landed in the neighbor's backyard or ended up in the lake. It shows a lack of clinical instinct. Arsenal players were passing and passing, 354 passes in total, but most of it was safe play. Why take 10 short passes when one accurate long ball can reach the goal in a second? But no, the ball was just visiting every player's feet, taking its time, avoiding the net as if it were afraid of scoring. Part 4. The comparison: high accuracy, low urgency. If we combine these two analyses, we see a London syndrome. Both Chelsea and Arsenal have passing accuracies above 80 to 90%. They don't lose the ball easily. They don't send passes into Lake Kilimanjaro. But they lack bite. Sunderland had 51% possession but only 2 shots on target. They were just as guilty as Chelsea, passing for the sake of passing. This is what we call U-shaped possession. The ball goes around the defense, never through it. Both teams are obsessed with control, but they forget that the goal of football is to put the ball in the net, not just to keep it away from the opponent. Part 5. Conclusion: the final verdict. To summarize this deep dive, Chelsea and Arsenal are currently masters of the midfield, but students of the penalty box. 700 passes and 14 shots look great on a spreadsheet, but they don't strike fear into the hearts of defenders if those shots are flying into the sky. Football needs more than just accuracy. It needs urgency, risk, and a killer instinct. Until London's Giants learn to play vertically, they will remain trapped in the midfield loop.